We're inspecting the foundation. We're at the right elevation. There are some cracks in the foundation slab, very common. Nothing to be too excited about, but certainly to be observed. These foundations are post-tension cable foundations, as such are very strong, and the cracks often occur early on in the construction process. There's very few properties in any part of the world that don't have cracks in the foundation. It's whether the cracks are opening up is the big question. So far we've found no cracks opening up. That's all looking very good. Rear elevation of the property. Again, we're looking at the foundation. I'm measuring the level of the foundation. What we've got is a laser level here, and we're shooting the foundation from the front elevation to the rear, where we've got an angle square. On the day of the inspection, if the foundation was perfectly level, the red dot would be on 3 1/8 of an inch. As it is, it's on 3 3/8, so it's about 1/4 of an inch drop, which is nothing. So essentially from the rear to the front to the rear elevation, it's level. We're measuring the foundation level from the left elevation to the right elevation. The intention to see whether or not we're level in this plane. Okay, you can see the little dot there is on just about 3 inches. That means that the foundation has dropped about 1/8 of an inch. So essentially this foundation is level. This is the grading inspection. You can see we have a bit of flat area in front of the building here, but it's to be expected at this building of this age. Grading wasn't actually carried out in the way it is today. And again here it's flat. It should drop away 6 inches in 10 feet if it was built to modern standards. Now, having said that, every building around here is going to be the same as this. It's just part of the age of the building when it was built and the type of requirements on builders at the time. But I wouldn't be too concerned about it. What I would do is ensure that you don't get very wet patches building up around here. If you do, you might like to consider putting French drains in. But from what I can see at the moment, the building does not seem to have suffered from the fact that the grading isn't of modern standards. And I'm pointing it out really more as a service to you, to let you know that that's what it's like now. But any building that you look at this age is going to be the same. So grading at rear elevation, again it's pretty flat, doesn't slope as required modern standards, but for all intents and purposes there are no wet patches in this garden. It's had a considerable amount of rain and it's drained very well, so I don't think there should be any concern about the grading. I'm standing at the left elevation. You can see here we have the drop line from the power coming through here. You have your main lines coming in, and I can't see the drop loop from this angle. I'm going to have to go to the ground to see it properly. Okay, so on the day of the inspection, the roof was found to have 2 roofs on it. So one roof has been installed over the top of the other, and all the penetrations, with particular the vents, are leaking. There's going to be water coming in through to the attic in heavy rainstorms such as we've just had. This is the roof inspection. We've got what appears to be multiple levels of shingles. Looks like there's 3 levels of shingles at this point. I've been trying to determine if there's 3 levels of shingles over the rest of the roof, and I can't. But I have to report it feels quite spongy underfoot, and when we're actually at the eaves looking at the shingles, it looks like there's only 3 shingles, so not too many. But if there are 2 layers, 2 roofs on this, then that means that the next time the roof comes to be repaired, I'm going to have to take them all off and repair them and replace them, because you can't put 3 roofs on a building this size. This is a wind turbine at the right rear elevation. It's leaking. I can see that inside, and I can see it from here. It's leaking quite badly. The vents here. This is a vent. The vent is leaking. It's broken. The boot that needs to be replaced, and the flashing around here needs to be resealed on the furnace. This is also true of all the other penetrations. They have active leaks inside the attic. They're not bad enough to cause a problem, but the leak's there. It's slow. And then finally, these vents here, both of these vents, the rubber boots need to be replaced. This is the wall inspection around the property. There's signs of some work here. The patio, the flatwork's been cut away. I'd inquire with the owner whether or not piers have been put into the property, because normally what happens when piers go in, that's what actually happens. They cut into the concrete flatwork to actually install a pier. There's no signs of anything else other than that. On the walls there are signs of movement at the doors here, at the door here, the patio door. You can see where it's parting here, down the edge here. There's signs of movement. You can come up close, you can see the gap opening up there in the caulking. Likewise on the other side. Now when foundations move, they show up as it shows up in the brickwork, not in the foundation, and there's movement in this foundation. You can see here we've got cracks running in this direction down to the foundation. They're relatively new, they look very sharp edges. That one's quite old, it's worn a bit. There's no debris in there. However, they're quite small cracks. They've not opened up, so it could be they've been there a long while and they're purely cosmetic. Now having said that, we found cracks. We're going to find cracks other places. I've seen them already. It's very typical, cracks in walls, because the foundations do move on these expansive soils. I'm now standing at the right elevation, and you can see there's cracks in the walls running up here. To my mind, they've been there a long while. There's some repointing here, and having been repaired at some point in the past, they've reappeared, running down here. So you see the cracks here, here, running down. And this crack here shows quite a bit of movement. We've now got about 1/8 of an inch or more. So there could be continuing movement in the foundation of this property. I'm continuing the walls inspection. We're now at the front elevation of the property at the right, moving to the left. Around the garage here, around here, there's an indication of movement. We're now moving to the left elevation of the property, and we have cracks running from the window down to the foundation at the front left elevation window, front side left elevation again at the middle window. The cracks we're talking about are here. Okay, so on the day of the inspection there's indications of cracks and movement in the foundation. However, the foundation is doing its job as far as I can determine, and the movement that I have seen at the moment remains cosmetic, and we'll measure the level of the foundation when we get inside to see if there's any movement in the actual level of the property. This is the window inspection. We're looking at the windows and the screens. Not all windows have screens. and the screens are poorly fitted where they are fitted. Most of the windows need recorking. You can see the cork has deteriorated. You can see how it's actually dried out and cracked. That's just caused by sun and aging, but I recommend the windows are recorked. Down here we've got quite a sizable hole here. It's going to allow a lot of water in, and you don't want water getting in between your walls. This is the front window, left elevation. Again, requires caulking. Yeah, caulking is required here. See where it's actually separated. You can see there's a gap there in the between the frame and the wall. That needs to be recorked. These are good moves for energy conservation points of view. They reduce the loss of energy in the summer. This is the electrical power box. You see here, it's actually in a closet. There's clothes in the closet, clothes everywhere else like that, and I cannot get access to it, and I'm in danger of damaging or making the clothing dirty, which I'd be responsible for. So I cannot get access to this electrical panel to look inside it. What I will do though is I will remove one of the outlet covers to check that we've got copper wiring in the actual building. I believe we have, because it's not that old, and therefore it should be copper. But on the day of the inspection I couldn't get access to the electrical. I removed the outlet cover in the kitchen. We're checking to see that we have copper wiring. We have copper wiring to the outlet. This is the the master bathroom, and you can see we've got the GFCI tester here. It's not working when I press it. You can see there's only one light on, indicating we have an open ground. So this unit also needs to be repaired by a certified electrician and the ground fixed. This is a family room. We have an outlet beneath the table here with an open ground. I'm at an outlet. It's at the left of the front door. And again we have an open ground on that outlet. It's my recommendation that a certified electrician inspect and evaluate the condition of the wiring in this household, as the presence of open ground has been on 4 of the outlets that I've inspected.